Welcome to New Orleans Saints Now. I'm your host, Trace Gerard, and in today's video, we have a mailbag. Saints fans, you have questions. I got answers. So without further ado, let's take your super chats, let's take your questions, and let's break it all down. So first one's coming in from Mikey Taylor. Saints get Derek Carr for a third-round pick and Tre'Quan Smith. And honestly, when this first came in, I was like, I don't know. But this actually is kind of a fair trade. If you think about it, I wouldn't say fair trade, but it's a pretty not terrible trade because the Saints, you get rid of Trautman Smith, you clear up about $2 million in cap space. You also get the ability to get Derek Carr. You only have to give up a third-round pick. If I'm the Saints, I'm saying 100% yes to this. If I'm the Raiders, I don't know if I'm saying yes to this, but I'd be interested. I definitely could see that being an offer of sorts. The Raiders wide receivers outside of Davante Adams, you got Hunter Renfrow, Mac Hollins. Yeah, they could use some wide receiver help. And honestly, Tre'Quan Smith might need to change his scenery. But Mikey Taylor, thank you so much for being a real one. Thank you for always supporting the channel and for always being in the comment section. I see you down there. We're going to get you that pennant that you won mailed ASAP Rocky. Next one, super chat coming in from Dylan Godfrey. Hear me out. Let's send Michael Thomas a first-round pick, a third-round pick for Derek Carr and Davante Adams. I'm not sure if the Raiders would go for it, though. Hashtag Who Dat, hashtag Saints. Yeah, Dylan, I love it. I mean, you can see on my shirt. I love it. Hey, we're good. We got it back. It's all right. Hey, this is why you subscribe, because we don't have to take breaks. We keep it rolling even when we have technical difficulties. Dylan, hear me out. I think it's a pretty good trade from a Saints point of view. Raiders, I don't think you're saying yes to that. Michael Thomas doesn't have much trade value, considering he hasn't played like more than 5 games since like 2019. It's just tough to really try and deal him. If he had more trade value, I think that there actually could be an argument for this. Maybe, but I don't think that's going to happen. But bringing Derek Carr and Davante Adams would be pretty cool. I think that'd be awesome. All right, next one coming in. Lloyd! Where's Lloyd? From Ari Gold. Should the Saints cut Tre'Quan Smith? All right. Tre'Quan Smith, last year, 19 receptions, 278 yards, 1 touchdown. Like I just said, change of scenery might be what's in store for this guy. He's a good – he's all right. Crazy – if you remember the crazy, situation of him being, the wide receiver 1 a couple years ago because literally the entire wide receiver depth chart was hurt, it might be worth it. Tre'Quan Smith is lower on the depth chart. He's a guy that I feel like you could see succeed in another team. I think I just think a change of scenery is what's best for both parties. The Saints do free up about $2 million, 1.9 to be exact, if they cut him. So I think that in order to save some money, if you want to bring in some guys, if you want to make free up some space for Derek Carr or for a free agent that you're looking for, I think that's the way you do it. I think you should maybe go into look into cutting Tre'Quan Smith, but this isn't about me. It's all about the Who Dat Nation. What should the Saints do with Tre'Quan Smith? Type C for cut, type K for keep. Let me know down in the comment section. And while you're down there, we also have the link to our brand new sponsor, Athletic Greens, in the comment section and in the description of this video. I'm so excited to tell all about this awesome company. Saints Now is sponsored by Athletic Greens. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day. Get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Not only is AG1 helping me get back into good habits, I'm already seeing better digestion as well. Improving my gut health is something I've been trying to do, and now that's happening with a simple scoop every single day. And it actually tastes great. I take AG1 every morning, and it makes me feel ready to take on my day. I came into this year wanting to get healthier, and starting my year on AG1 has helped me do just that. I take it every morning, and I feel happier, healthier, and more energized. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I just mix 1 small scoop of AG1 with water and drink it first thing in the morning, just like the video that we showed you just a second ago. I also like that it costs less than $3 a day, which is pretty good if you ask me, if you're talking about your own physical health. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sources and ingredients, or highest quality sourced ingredients. It's a win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. So go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out. The link is in the comment section in the description of this video. Top 3 benefits that I've seen in my personal day-to-day life. Promotes my gut health. Been getting a lot healthier. Supports my immunity. Been able to grind out my days here at Chat Sports and get back to work. It also boosts my energy when I'm trying to go and hit the gym before I get to work. All right. Griggsley, $5 super chat. That's a beer cheers to you, my guy. Cheers. Film this during our live show, so if you want to join our live show, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us. Please take Carr's contract from us. Raiders. Hell no, you ain't getting Adams. Nah, I know we ain't getting Adams. It's just a good question. That Fetty will be nice, though. Yeah, you ain't getting Davante Adams. We'll take Derek Carr's contract for you because what's going to happen is we'll trade for him and restructure it and make it a lot better. It's fine. You know, the Derek Carr contract is definitely ugly. He's owed a lot of money. But I think that the Saints, they're kind of cap wizards, so money isn't really an issue that I have for my team personally. But, Griggs, I appreciate the support. Thank you for your $5 super chat. Appreciate you, brother. All right, this one coming in from St. John Butler. If the Saints land Derek Carr, what do the Saints do with those 2 early picks? All right, so my top 2 draft targets in all of, well, I guess I'll give you my top 3. My top 3 in all of the NFL draft. I'm a big fan of Hendon Hooker, Tyjae Spears, and what's his name? The guy out of Siaki Ika. Siaki Ika, the defensive tackle, former LSU Tiger, Baylor Bear now, monster. So I think that in those first 2 picks, you go hit defensive tackle in the first round. I think that's an obvious one. I think second round is where things get interesting. Considering right now you have the second round pick, I think you could go one of 2 ways. You bring in Hendon Hooker as your backup if Derek Carr doesn't work because, you know, it's a gamble. A trade is always a gamble. Could he come in to this new scheme and fit and be successful? He could, but it's just as possible that he would fail and he could actually not be that great. So I think you could go look at it in drafting a guy like Hendon Hooker in the second round might not be out of the question, or maybe even like a Tanner McKee or somebody, or the guy out of Fresno State, Jake Haener. I mean, I think that you still go and draft a quarterback. You need to get somebody young in there. That way you can have somebody for Carr to mentor and shape and teach the ways of the NFL, because I think Derek Carr actually could be a good guy to, you know, help the transition from college to the NFL. But also Tyjae Spears, running back out of Tulane, the Louisiana native. The kid is just a freak athlete. He's so damn fast. Had, I believe, 18 touchdowns on the year. He just finds open space. This kid is literally everything that we've seen in Alvin Kamara just at Tulane. You could get a second Kamara. And also, don't forget that Kamara is facing a suspension, potentially. We don't know if or how long he will be suspended. So I think you go either quarterback, running back, defensive tackle in those top 3 picks. Running back, you could probably get in the later in the draft, but I'm a big Tyjae Spears guy, and his draft stock's been skyrocketing. So if you want to go get him, want to keep him in Louisiana, you probably have to go get him in the second, third round. But you'd probably lose that if you had to trade for Derek Carr. Next question from Danny. What free agent should the Saints re-sign? So this is on their current roster. Danny, great question. I actually have a list that we were going to use for another show. This is kind of perfect. So Juwan Johnson, the tight end. I've been calling him Mr. Reliable all season. He's 25 first downs. Speaks for itself. The guy makes the guy makes big plays. He makes plays that are important and that help extend drives and help get catches in the end zone. I believe over half of his catches were either a touchdown or a first down, which is just crazy to think. Caden Ellis, linebacker. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm so high on Caden Ellis. I think he's a phenomenal athlete. I think with having him lined up with Demario Davis is so genius, and it's so smart because he can learn from one of the greats, one of the NFL greats, and one of the Saints greats, and he can learn how to become a better linebacker, how to become a better football player, and a better leader on the Saints defense. I think that Caden Ellis is definitely somebody you should bring back, and I don't think you hesitate. I think you go pay him as soon as possible. Jarvis Landry, another guy I would want to bring back. Bring him back on a vet minimum. Bring him back for the culture and for the locker room. I mean, let Juice retire a Saint. Let him retire in his home state of Louisiana. I'm a big fan of Jarvis Landry. He obviously missed a lot of time, and he has those injury issues. But I think Jarvis Landry he was great whenever he played. He was helping out. And here's the thing. If he wasn't catching the ball, he was bringing defenders to him, opening up receptions for guys like Rashid Shaheed, Juwan Johnson, or Chris Olave. So Jarvis Landry, another guy that I'm really high on. And that's a personal one for me. I just love Juice. Bring him back to New Orleans. Come on. Let him finish out his career as a Saint. David Onyemata, defensive tackle, really lit it up. Second half of the season, he's been doing great. He's now one of the starting defensive tackles. He really came into his shoes really well this season. I want to see him continue to grow with the Saints, but you could also explore defensive tackle in the draft. But David Onyemata, I think you could bring back, and I think you could not have to pay him too much. I don't think there's going to be a massive market for him because there are some notable defensive linemen going to free agency this offseason. So David Onyemata, bring him back, and then Bradley Roby, just to keep the continuity of the DBs and of the cornerbacks. Slot guy, I think that Bradley Roby, he shows spurts of being good, being all right. He was on IR for part of the season this year, but I think that it would be a pretty interesting one. And I see one guy in the chat, Mr. Fired, saying, bring in Odell Beckham Jr. Could certainly be interesting. We'll see about that. But subscribe today because we are going to be breaking down Saints news, rumors, and buzz all offseason long. We are the #1 spot to get all of your Saints updates. If there is anything notable, we're going to make a video for it. If anything happens, we're going to make a video or make a post on the community tab or even a YouTube short. Subscribe, turn on your notifications. That way you never miss a thing. And also, so you can join us on our next live show. Turn on your noties. We don't have a date. We don't know what day we're going to go live again. TBD on that. Could be next Wednesday. Could be the Wednesday after that. Subscribe, turn on your noties. That way we can keep it rolling on the channel. Help us reach 15K. We're not too far off of that. All right, next question in. Alex. Oh, boy. Could Taysom Hill get traded to the Broncos? Yes, he could. Just straight up, yes. The answer is yes. He could get traded. Anybody could get traded. Do I want him to get traded? No. I don't want him to be traded. I think that Taysom Hill is one of the few pieces to the Saints offense that no matter how predictable it gets, you still can't stop it. Similar to Michael Thomas and slants. Everyone called him Slant Boy. Well, okay, then stop it. Like, you know what's going to happen, then stop it. Same with Taysom Hill. You know he's just going to take it and run. You know he's more than likely not going to throw a deep pass. Stop it. I mean, my point being, Taysom Hill is a huge part of the Saints offense. I would hate to see Taysom Hill leave. I would hate to see Taysom Hill wear another team's colors. He obviously was a Packer before he was a Saint, but he's a Saint. He's a New Orleans Saint. And Sean Payton did, joke about it back before he got traded. He said that he'd call up his friend Mickey and see what's up, see what the asking price was. Sean Payton is huge on Taysom Hill. If you remember, he gave him a really nice contract right before he retired and dipped out of here. I don't want to see him get traded. I think that Taysom Hill is one of those players that's very special, a unique talent, and I don't think that anybody could recreate it. And when other teams are trying to recreate that on their own roster, that means you have something good. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if they were to give you some pretty good trade compensation, like if you were to get like a first or something, which you won't, but if you were to get some crazy trade compensation, I'd have to look at it. We'd have to talk about it. We'd have to figure it out. But I think that Taysom Hill is a Saint through and through. I think you got to do everything you can to keep him here and keep him happy. Taysom, stay. If you want Taysom Hill to stay, type 7 in the comment section. Why not? Next question from Nola Nick. Remember, #Saints. Get your questions, comments in, or send in the super chat. Who are some running backs the Saints could add this offseason? Nick, I like how you phrase that because it's not just who could we sign, who could we draft, who could we trade for. Kind of opens up the floor to everything. 5 running back targets that I'm really high on. Free agency, you got Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs. I believe Saquon Barkley, he's going to get the bag. No matter where he goes, he's getting paid good money. Can the Saints afford that? I'm not necessarily sure, especially if you want to make a trade for a guy like Derek Carr where it's going to be a little bit more expensive. You're going to have to pay him some good money. Saquon, it's kind of tough. Josh Jacobs, I don't know right now what's going to happen with him, but as we film right now, it could be the case where he could actually be franchise tagged. So in that situation, you'd have to go tag, and they would get tagged, and then you'd have to go try and trade for him. Would the Raiders give him up? He was kind of the really only light in their offense the entire season outside of Davante Adams. Don't know if they'd really give him up on that. But if he hits free agency, I'd go see what's up. You might have to pay him big, but I'd go see. Tyjae Spears, I talked about him, man. The guy's a freak. He's so good. He is a Saint. He's such a New Orleans Saint. It's not even funny. Just everything about him just oozes New Orleans Saints. He's go please, Mickey. Are you listening? Draft Tyjae Spears. Thank you. Bijan Robinson, running back 1 in the draft. I think that he is a phenomenal running back out of Texas. What can't the guy do? The guy's a freak athlete. The guy knows how to find open space. And Bijan Robinson would be a phenomenal addition to the Saints offense. Same with Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA. Kind of similar situation. It's not about what Zach can do. It's about what he can't do. He has unbelievable amounts of tools. He has incredible athletic ability, hard to tackle, finds open space, really good with the ball in his hands. I really think that Zach Charbonnet is a guy that the Saints could go and get 3rd, 4th round. Obviously, if you trade Derek Carr and the asking price is a 3rd round, you ain't getting them in the 3rd. But these 3 guys in the draft are pretty appealing. And these 2 guys up here, you'd have to pay good money. If it's me, I'm going one of these 3. More so Tyjae. That's my guy. That's my dog. I love Tyjae Spears. I want him in black and gold so bad. And I know some of y'all don't, but I really, really, really do. But I want you guys to weigh in and let me know. How many Saints games have you been to? You've been to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. I've been to just 1. I went to my first one this past year. Saints-Rams. It was a great game. I had a lot of fun watching it. It was awesome. I really enjoyed going out there. New Orleans is a phenomenal city. Caesars Superdome was awesome. It was so cool seeing all this happen in person. I also got to watch Chris Olave burn Jalen Ramsey, who's washed up. Yeah, that's your daddy, Jalen. That was fun. So let me know in the comment section, how many Saints games have you been to in your lifetime? $2 super chat from a chat sports legend, Lord Buddy Bear. Going to crack open a brew for you, my guy. Cheers. All right. Derek Carr would be great in a better system, F. McDaniels. Exactly. I think that Derek Carr could actually be a really good fit for the Saints. I think he could do some good things. I think that you finally have a defense that you can rely on. One of the better defenses he's ever had in his career could actually work out. And I think that the Saints have some better options in terms of their wide receivers and their pass catchers with Juwan Johnson, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed. Michael Thomas right now, he's on the roster, but he could get cut. He could come back. Who knows what's going to happen with that? You bring back Jarvis Landry. You get somebody in the draft. The point being, the Saints, I think, are a better fit for Derek Carr, than the Raiders were. And, McDaniels, the Raiders clearly wanted to run it with him and not Derek Carr. Next question coming in from Parker Hayes. Parker, we became Saints fans around the same time. What's up, my guy? Saints, or hashtag Saints, who would you go after in the draft for D-line? What do you think about wide receiver Marvin Mims from Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner? Parker, I'm going to assume that you are an Oklahoma grad or an Oklahoma fan or Oklahoma grad. So in terms of defensive line, I really like 202 out of, or is it 222 out of Alabama. He's a linebacker, but you could possibly have him help out. Siaki Ika, he's my top defensive line target. Brian Breesy, another good one out of Clemson. These are all guys that I like. Also, Marvin Mims Jr., 54 receptions, 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, 20 yards per catch. Shit, man. Go draft that guy. Hey, I'm sitting here like, this is kind of the first I really looked at Marvin Mims' stats. Definitely go draft this guy. I think the Saints should go pick him up. He's from Frisco, 5'11", 184 pounds. He's a little bit smaller, but put him in at the slot or something. I don't know. It could be kind of fun. That'd be an interesting one. Marvin Mims Jr., that's a name to keep an eye on. Thanks, Parker. Appreciate you shouting that out for me. Mr. Leroy, $10 super chat. Cheers to you, brother. Been a Carr fan since Fresno State, also a Raiders fan. I would love to see him as a Saint. Honestly, Mr. Leroy, I agree. I agree with you as well. I think that he would be really good as a New Orleans Saint. I think that he could fit the scheme. I think he could fit the culture. I think he could buy in to the city, and I think the city could buy into him just as well. I think it would be a good fit. I'd be interested to see what happens, so we will see. Only time will tell. He's currently meeting with the Saints as we film this video, so who knows? Last question coming in. Who are some wide receivers that the Saints could add if we bring in Derek Carr? Good question. Marvin Mims Jr., that's one just off the rip, I'll say. I really like what he had. Another wide receiver that you could possibly bring in, I mean, Juju, that's another good one I like. I mean, it's just kind of tough because with the cap space, it's hard to go and pay somebody a lot of money when you're going to have to pay money elsewhere, especially when you want to retain some of your free agents. I don't know, man. That's kind of a tough question. I think that I like Juju. I think that you could maybe go explore the draft. I think that there's always talented depth in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round that you could always go for. Yeah, I mean, I would go, honestly, if I'm bringing in depth, I would probably go younger, maybe bring in one more veteran guy like a Juju or maybe even a DJ Chark. I think that's another name that you could look out for. So those are some just the guys that I would bring in. But, yeah, you guys let me know. Who would you bring in? Saints fans, thank y'all so much for sticking with us. If you made it to the end of today's video, type real one so I know that you made it throughout the entire show. We appreciate every single one of you for coming and hanging out with us. Who Dat Nation, y'all stay golden. I'll catch you next time. We'll see you later.